Welcome back. This is ANN News. Now to stories from around the world. 4 persons were wounded after 6 bombs went off in Bangkok, rattling the Thai capital. The city was hosting a regional summit attended by top diplomats. Friday's first explosions were heard during morning rush hour at 2 sites near central Bangkok. Police recovered at least 6 bombs exploded at 3 locations. 1 unexploded device was also retrieved. A medical center said 4 persons were wounded, none seriously. The summit in Bangkok was a regional security meeting of foreign ministers from the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN, and their counterparts from world powers, including the United States, China, and Russia. China has vowed to retaliate if the U.S. introduces fresh tariffs on $300 billion worth of Chinese goods in a move that will jeopardize recently resumed talks between the countries. Only hours after U.S. trade negotiators returned from high-level meetings with their Chinese counterparts in Shanghai. Donald Trump says a plan to impose a 10% tariff from next month because China had not agreed to purchase more American agricultural products. China says the U.S. announcement violates the agreement reached by Trump and China's President Xi Jinping. China's Interior Ministry says if the tariffs are imposed, China will have to take necessary countermeasures and all the consequences will be borne by the U.S. The United States has announced it will formally withdraw from a landmark arms control treaty with Russia, claiming it undermines its national security interests. The move means that only one soon-to-expire arms control treaty between the U.S. and Russia remains, leaving critics of the Trump administration and proliferation experts worried about the potential for a new arms race. In February, Washington had announced that in 6 months it would suspend its participation in the Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty unless Moscow destroyed missiles the U.S. and its NATO allies say violates the agreement. The INF Treaty was signed in 1987 by U.S. and Soviet Union leaders Ronald Reagan and Mikhail Gorbachev. The treaty was meant to eliminate the presence of land-based nuclear missiles and medium-ranged arsenals between 500 and 5,500 kilometers from Europe. And Saudi Arabia government has lifted a ban on women from traveling without a male guardian. The restriction has always drawn international censure and prompted extreme attempts to flee the kingdom. The decree announced on Friday comes after high-profile attempts by women to escape their guardians despite a string of reforms, including an historic decree last year that overturned the world's only ban on female motorists. Saudi Arabia's first female ambassador to the United States, Rima Bandar Al Saud, has also confirmed the report in a social media post. It is unclear whether the order will take effect. If implemented, the landmark reform ends the long-standing guardianship system that renders adult women as legal minors and allows their guardians, husband, father, and other male relatives to exercise arbitrary authority over them. Women in the kingdom have long required permission from the male guardians to marry, renew their passport to exit the country.
You are watching ANN.
We are on the road every day, canvassing throughout Africa for news you really need. We follow this story everywhere, from every corner of Nigeria to the wide African expanse. We bring you what's making headlines. We connect you with news you can use.